We're soaring high in Switzerland today, so come along with me on this video. I'm going to take you to some of the highest peaks and some of the most beautiful valleys. It's the Swiss Alps. Let's go!
For our first day in the Swiss Alps, we decided to go up to the Schilthorn Peak, and since we were staying in Interlaken, we had to hop a train to take us up into the Lauterbrunnen Valley, where we got on a bus that took us further up into the valley, and then we got onto the Schilthorn Bahn, which is a cable car system that runs you all the way up to the peak. But you end up having to ride a total of 4 cable cars to get all the way up to the Schilthorn, and when we were coming back down, we decided to stop at a few of the stops and see what they had to offer. In addition to some amazing views up at the top of the Schilthorn, there's also great food at their restaurant, which is a 360-degree, fully rotating restaurant, so you get to see the views all the way around while you're dining. So we're here at the Berg Station, and I'm on the thrill walk, which is basically you're just on this grate up above everything. I hope that y'all can hear me because it's very windy. But anyway, back here we have the Jungfrau Peak, Monk Peak, and the Eiger Peak back here. The Jungfrau means maiden, Monk is monk, and then the Eiger is something like a troll or something like that in German. And so basically the monk is protecting the Jungfrau, the young maiden, from the Eiger. Alpine adventure here. I'm doing something really fun this morning. I am going paragliding. We're down here in Interlaken, of course, and they do a lot of paragliding here, and they all land right here in the main park, which is right across from our condo that we rented. And so as soon as we got here, I was like, okay, I've got to try this. I've got to do it. So I booked the spot, and I'm going this morning to go do it. I'm actually running a little bit late. That's why I'm a little bit out of breath here. I can't wait. I'm super excited about this. Maybe just a little bit nervous about it, but I'm super excited about it. and can't wait to try it out. I hope that I'll be able to film while I'm up there. I don't know exactly how all that works. This is going to be amazing. So paragliding was amazing, but now we're on the move. We got to get up to the Berg Station. We booked our tickets ahead of time, which I highly suggest because you can actually do a lot better that way. You reserve your seat. And so we got off at the terminal station. That's the train stop that you'll need to stop at if you are going to do this, and if you're going to go up the Eiger Express. And the Eiger Express is a lift. It's a cable car system that goes up. Brand new, very fancy. I think it opened like a year or two ago. It'll express you up to the top a little bit faster than the train, so you'll save about 45 minutes by riding the Eiger Express. The train's more traditional, but the Eiger Express cuts time, and today we're wanting to save a little bit of time. We're heading on up. Made it up to Eiger. It's definitely colder up here. This is maybe halfway up or so, and we're fixing to get on our last leg, which is another train, a cogwheel train that's going to take us up. We're in this tube right now, just got off the express. One quick tip is, if you're coming up here, the air is so thin that a lot of people get altitude sickness. It's recommended that you drink a liter of water on your way up, so we've been drinking our bottles of water because that'll help you with altitude sickness. So we're in the train headed to the top, and it's about a 25-minute journey or something from Eigerslecher, I think is how you say that, all the way up to the Berg Station. Can't wait to see it. We can already tell the air is a lot thinner up here. You can just tell you're a little short of breath, and I'm sure it's going to be very cold. We've been inside the tunnel the whole time. This whole train journey, you're in the tunnel, but I'm sure it's going to be very, very cold when we get there. So we've made it to the top of the Berg Station. You have to walk down this long tunnel, like through the stone and everything, and then you hop on an elevator and it zips you up here to the top. It's like 108 meters and you are there in no time. But there's a little bit of a storm that's come in. It's got some rain going on, and they've closed the outside terrace due to like thunderstorm issues. We can't go outside. We can only look at it through the window, which is kind of a bummer, but at least we are up here. At least we get to see it. We're at the top of Europe. It's hard to see through the window, but from this view here, that is a glacier right there, and it's the longest glacier in Europe. I think it stretches like 11 miles. Since we have very little visibility out here, we've decided we're going to go on back down and go ahead and eat at the restaurant and try to come back up. In general, as a general rule of thumb, when you're coming to these peaks, the earlier in the morning that you come up, the better, because it'll start to cloud up later in the day. Just so happens today there's a storm coming through, so that's kind of messing us up. When we get back up here, hopefully we've got some visibility, and hopefully we can go out on the terrace. We had our lunch, came back upstairs, and the outside terraces are open, so we're out here, and it's just air and ice and snow and wind. And that's the glacier I tried to show y'all through the window earlier. Still not very easy to see. Low visibility out here today, but at least we're out here. So Megan took the kids in because it is freezing out here and the wind is whipping. I don't even know if y'all can hear me, but I said I gotta stay out here another minute or two. This is just, it's too cool. This is too amazing. I'm so glad that we were able to come up here and get out onto the terrace. And it's so windy because, let me show you the floor. The floor is just a grate, so the wind is coming straight up the mountain and it's just like straight up through the floor on you. It's really cool, but actually it's really cold. But I mean, just beautiful. Every few minutes the sun kind of peeks through and it's just like lights up out here. It's really cool. Love it. So we got down here where the snow's at and it's open. We're outside standing on the snow. Kids are getting to touch it. Not as cold out here though as it is up top. There's no breeze right here. It's pretty nice. Coming down into the ice palace right now, and it is all ice. The floor is ice, the walls ice, these blocks are ice. I mean, it's like skating, ice skating. Here comes the fam, here comes the fam. What's weird is something keeps booming really loud, like thunder, and I'm like, okay, we're inside of an ice tunnel. Like, I don't need this to come down on us. So we're up in the area that they call the plateau, which is a big flat snowy area. And I'm really out of breath. The air is so thin up here. We're at like 11,300 something feet. So it's the final day of this video. I don't know what this video is going to be called. Maybe something like the Alps, Peaks and Valleys or something, but that might make it sound like we didn't have a good time sometimes, and we definitely did. Anyway, whatever this video is going to be called, this is the final day of it. We're going to go up and see the Matterhorn. We're currently in Zermatt right now, and we're headed to the train station where we're going to get on the Gornergrot Express. We'll go up to the Gornergrot station, have an amazing view of the Matterhorn. Hopefully it's not too cloudy up there right now. The clouds have been kind of developing a little bit this morning, but they're not too bad right now. So hopefully in the next 30-45 minutes it takes us to get up there, it won't be too bad, and we're gonna get some great views for you. We have made it up to Gornergrot, and we've got, where'd it go back here behind? Amazing Matterhorn is right here, and the clouds are coming and going. When we got off the train, it was super cloudy, but they seem to be coming and going. Let me turn you around, see if I can zoom you up a little bit. Right now is probably the best we've had since we got here about 5 minutes ago. But like I said, they are kind of coming and going, and we're gonna be up here for a little while having lunch, and hopefully we'll get an even better shot. The temperatures up here right now are like in the 40s, I think it said earlier, maybe 50, something like that, but it's sunny. So when you're in the sun, it actually feels really good, or at least to me. I think my wife and kids are pretty cold right now, but I don't even have my jacket on. It feels good to me in a t-shirt, but it's just, I mean, absolutely beautiful up here. So many peaks can be seen from up here at the top, so many glaciers. It's really cool. So we made it up here to this cool restaurant, about to have lunch with this view out here. It's amazing. We just had an amazing lunch here at the Vis-a-Vis restaurant at the hotel up here on the top, and we're just walking a few meters up the trail. A few meters. I've been in Europe too long, I think. We're walking just a little ways up the trail, and there's a viewing platform up here at the top with like 360-degree views where you can see everything around you. So let's go check that out. So the little hike up this trail was actually quite a hike when the air is this thin and when we just had a heavy lunch, but this is totally worth it. Got the Matterhorn back here in the distance, and I mean, you can just walk all the way around. The kids are looking through their telescope, and then over there, I mean, there's even more views. It's just amazing. There's so many glaciers and stuff coming down from these mountains. I'll show you those when we get on that side though. So these telescopes that they have light up and show you exactly what peaks you're looking at, what the heights are, and everything. That is so cool. It's like as you're scrolling around, it's telling you exactly what you're looking at. This view over this side is absolutely amazing. You've just got all these mountain peaks, and you've got glaciers flowing down here. So just awesome. So we're up here at this little interactive multimedia thing called Zoomit, the Matterhorn. They got all kind of stuff, little movies and stuff, and then this is like a periscope right here that the kids are looking. And they can either do a live view or a pre-filmed view if it's on a bad day, but they get to look around, zoom in, zoom out, do all kinds of stuff looking at these peaks out here. They have like a 3D theater in here. It's so cool. Then they also have this parasailing thing right here where you're hooked up to your little fake parasail, and you have like a VR headset on and you can soar around. Obviously I won't be able to film while we're doing that, but that's what it looks like. We've had an amazing time up here. The clouds have come and gone, which has been actually pretty good because we've actually been able to get some good views of the mountain. But the train is about to come around the corner, and we'll be heading back down to check out Zermatt. I'm gonna show you all a little bit of the city of Zermatt whenever we get down there. But boy, it was amazing up here. So many great views. Honestly, I think of all the peaks that we went to, this one had the best views, the best weather, everything. I mean, we had an amazing time up here. So we just made it back down. Got some horses neighing back here behind me. We just made it back down to Zermatt, and our first stop is going to be the chocolate store. For most people, whenever you arrive in Zermatt, you're going to arrive right here at the train station, and then if you're going to be going up to see the Matterhorn from Gornergrot, you'll come right over here to this station, which is where you'll get your tickets and where you'll board your train up to the Gornergrot. Zermatt actually has a lot of streets, but this main road right here leading up from the train station is the main drag, and it's very busy during the day. It gets quieter at night. This is where you'll find the highest concentration of shops and restaurants and things like that. Zermatt also has a nice river flowing through it, and it's a little bit loud right now, but there's a good walkway on both sides of the river. And what it's most famous for is right up there, and it can't be seen right now, but if the cloud wasn't there, you'd be looking at the Matterhorn. Just like a lot of cities over here in Europe, or the small towns I should say, they are great for strolling. And Zermatt is just like that. You're walking around, you're seeing all this modern stuff, restaurants and everything, and then you take one turn and you've got all these historic, really old buildings right here, and then you have golf carts about to run you over. So here's a great look at some of their old buildings, and the sign says that it was from the 16th century. And if you're wondering why they put these little round stones on a lot of their buildings, it was to keep the mice, because the mice can't climb up and go around the stone to get up into the house or the dry storage or whatever they had up there. So to close this video, I just wanted to recap quickly and kind of go over what we've seen. We based ourselves out of Interlaken while we were going to places like Jungfraujoch and Schilthorn, and there's a lot of great things around there. Gimmelwald is an amazing little village up there in the mountains. It's an excellent place, and Interlaken worked really well for us. We loved being there, had a nice park there for the kids to play in, a lot of restaurants, everything that you could need as a traveler. It was a great spot. Then to come see the Matterhorn, we based out of Zermatt, which is really kind of a necessity because it takes a while to get to Zermatt. So if you're trying to get up to the peaks in the morning hours, which is what I recommend, because typically as the day goes on, the clouds get more and more. If you want to get here in the morning hours, you really need to be close, and Zermatt's going to be the closest place that you can be. All three of those were great peaks. We loved being in all of them. We loved staying in Interlaken. We loved staying in Zermatt. If I had to pick one, if there was only one peak, if you only had time to go see one peak while you were here in Switzerland, I would say come here and see the Matterhorn, just because I feel like up there at the Gornergrot station, it was just a little bit nicer of a place. They had some really cool things to do up there, great views all around. Really loved being up there. But if I was to pick only one, that would probably be the one, and I would come here and stay in Zermatt to see that. But if you have the time, come stay in Zermatt and see the Matterhorn, and then go to Interlaken and see everything that's around there. And there's plenty to see there. I mean, you can get to Pilatus and I mean, there's a lot around there. There's a lot to do. Zermatt is really kind of secluded pretty far up in the valley here. So you're really cutting yourself short on the amount of things that you can do. But if you've got a short itinerary, you've only got a day or two, then this is probably the place for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it. I love being here in Switzerland. I love seeing these peaks, love seeing the valleys. I love being in these little towns, especially places like Gimmelwald. And here in Zermatt, I mean, Zermatt's very touristy, but it's also still very traditional and Swiss looking. We absolutely had an amazing time. So be sure and check back for our next videos. I've got several more coming up from our trip here in Switzerland, and then we're also going down into Italy. We'll be in Milano for a couple days coming up next. So be sure and check back for those. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.